Hey, and welcome back to Kyle's Financial News. My name is Kyle, and today instead of news, I wanted to talk about something just a little bit different. I want to talk about how somebody who is maybe new to investing or new to markets and is interested in making money grow, no matter the size or how much they have to start with, can just get started in the first place. And there's all sorts of different levels of progress and what makes up financial success, whether you're trying to become just financially free and go through the FIRE method and not have to work a 9 to 5, or maybe just get to the point where you're not feeling like you're underwater on your bills anymore. First and foremost, before we can even begin discussing steps on how we can start to generate interest and generate money using our money, we have to talk about removing monthly expenses that are draining our funds. And I'm talking about debt. Debt is not just borrowing some money and paying a little bit of money extra to pay it back. And I have an analogy here for debt in regards to the efforts you might be making to build up a savings account or to build a large amount to make a large purchase in the future. It can be like trying to fill up a lake, but underground, a quarter mile back, your pipe is leaking multiple gallons a minute. Now, immediately, it doesn't seem like a lot, and maybe even over a couple days, it doesn't seem like a lot. But over 3 months, 9 months, 2 years, however long your time frame might look like, this can be a massive amount. Credit card debt and auto loan debt are the two easiest things to get into and the two hardest things to get out of. And I strongly believe in that because the interest rates are typically high and the purchases from both are almost entirely towards depreciating assets. A credit card today for the average consumer has between 20 to 35% interest, abnormally high allowances or available balances, and nothing short of predatory practices, from the points to the cash back to the air miles, things to incentivize spending. Now, a car, as we all know, depreciates the moment you drive it off the lot, especially a brand new car. Every mile you put on it, every scratch, every scuff, door dings, you name it, all drive down the overall value of the vehicle. Student loan debt and mortgages on a house or a property is nothing to be ignored either, but in theory, at least student loan debt is used to invest in your education, and that should hopefully in the long run help pay for itself through higher wages and more skilled work. And there's evidence supporting that. Of course, that is not the case for everybody, and there are plenty of examples out there of student loan debt becoming a permanent drain on your future income. A home should hopefully continue to appreciate over time, as will most property, and at least act as a means of building up equity and hedge your money against inflation. That has its own room for error too. A lot of different math is needed to determine when a home is right for you and how much is too much in terms of affordability. Once our debt is gone though, and more importantly, once that negative interest rate is gone, then and only then can we start looking at things to generate positive interest. The big two for me right now are high yield savings and investment portfolios. High yield savings accounts are around for now, but may not be forever. They really only work to your favor when interest rates are high. And to add contrast to that, interest rates are typically only high when inflation is or has been high. So there has already been some amount of loss to your purchasing power or to the value of your dollars in the first place, and thus comes in higher interest rates to balance out the market. And sure, you now have some high yield interest rate accounts available to you, but will that outperform and outgrow the amount that you're losing on your purchasing power due to inflation already? So don't get me wrong, I do like high yield interest accounts, especially compared to whatever your traditional big bank regular savings account might be offering you. A fraction of a percentage point, I'm sure, at best. So high yield interest savings accounts, if you're going to be storing money anywhere, need to at least ideally be in those types of accounts. And I say that aside of keeping a little bit of money in bank accounts nearby, physically close to you so that you can access them immediately as you need to. Now, I'm not talking, most high yield interest savings accounts these days are digital only. But when thinking of good investment returns, having a savings account established as an emergency savings or in addition to existing savings is worth the peace of mind alone. Not to sound a little cheesy here, but your mental health and well-being along with your physical health are paramount to making proper financial decisions. When I've been in debt and it feels like everything is weighing down on me and all I can focus on is how much I'm losing from my paycheck the moment I get paid, or how few dollars I have for the days remaining until I get paid again, it makes it impossible to sit, to breathe, and to just focus on methods that I could be practicing or pursuing to make money grow in a positive direction. Now, when it comes to investment portfolios, first and foremost is options provided to you by your work or your employer, be it a 401k or a deferred compensation plan, stock options, maybe a pension. There's lots of different options out there with different companies. And if it's being offered to you, take full advantage of it. More often than not, it is quite literally free money. So when talking about good investment returns, that is very high up on the list. Finally, we can explore some personal investment plans. My personal favorite is a Roth IRA, and that's not for everybody, either because there are limits to how much you can contribute, and if you make over a certain amount per year, then you may not be able to contribute to it at all, at least not in a straightforward way. For 2024, you can contribute up to $7,000. That money has already been taxed when it was paid to you by your employer, and it is tax-free when you start withdrawing from it at retirement age. Now, that is counter to a traditional IRA. A traditional IRA is using non-taxed income to deposit with, and then when you go to take out the funds after they've already grown and collected a whole bunch of capital gains later on down the road when you go to retire, then you are taxed on that amount then. So I would rather have a fund that is able to grow to no limits, theoretically infinitely. It could grow infinitely, and then when I go to start withdrawing on those funds, it is 100% tax-free. I believe those are really the main core concepts of what makes up good investment returns, rather great investment returns, removing that negative interest from your life so that you can start building that positive interest using the money that you're taking in from your job or your income and compounding that month after month and watching it grow over time. Then once you have those core values established and out of the way each year, you can start looking at investing in maybe some local small businesses, or investing in singular stock picks if you're into markets and picking out stocks, or you can start looking at crypto, or you can start looking at properties and investing in maybe a rental property or kind of growing some value that way. There's a number of different other options out there. Maybe not necessarily all of them are good in terms of the risk to reward. Those have to be determined on a case-by-case basis. But at the very least, I hope I've provided you some foundational core concepts that you can use to start getting ahead and maybe turning around a direction that maybe you might have been headed. I have been there. I speak from experience. These are the things that have helped me turn my life around significantly in the past. And with that, thank you so much for watching. Please consider liking. And if you enjoyed this type of content and would like to see more content like this in the future, please consider subscribing. Please leave any comments if you agree, disagree, or have any questions. I'd be happy to discuss, and I will see you hopefully in the next video.